Should you curse? I mean, I'm just talking like regular conversation, like when you're doing your thing. Should you just drop bombs at whatever time you want? Should you curse? This has been a topic for as far as I could remember, often referred to as bad words, bad language, foul language, swearing. And as time went on and I grew up, just cursing was a thing. As you grow up, you'll find out cursing is a thing. If you're an adult already, you probably cursed at one time or another. Everybody smashes their finger or kicks something and it hurts really bad. And then just kind of, sometimes just the natural instinct is to bust out a curse word because it hurts. My main thing for cursing is, you know what? Just be yourself. Don't curse because it's cool. Don't not curse because it's not cool. I mean, you remember, if you were a cursor, is that a word? If you were a cursor from the get-go, if you were just a cursor since you were a little kid, it's no big deal. I think it's a bigger deal when you're just kind of raised as don't use foul language, don't use bad words as a little kid, and then you get out into kind of like your real world, whether it's a school or it's in sports or is in just any kind of a social environment, art class, athletics, you're going to start hearing cursing, and it's just going to be there. It's going to be part of your life. That's where it's a decision is like, should I do it? Am I part of it? Do I curse? And it goes back to what I said just a second ago. Be yourself. The first few times, you remember when you kind of just used it for the first time and you were like, whoa, a sentence enhancer. Dope. It felt kind of weird because you hadn't used it before, or you knew you weren't allowed, or you looked around because shit, did anybody hear? I could get in trouble because you knew it was maybe not allowed at your house. Eventually, though, you grow up and you can do your own thing. You should do your own thing and make your own decision. And like I said, if it's you, it's you. If it's not, it's not. It's not so much should I have to, or I shouldn't, so I won't. Just be you. And I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen it. Shit, I've even been about it. That it's obvious when you're forcing it. If you're not someone who curses and you're sitting around a group of friends and they're just regular cursers and you turn into a tryhard and start busting them into your vocabulary, you're gonna tell. You're gonna stand out. Don't do that. Do you. If you curse, you curse. If you don't, you don't. And there's the in-between. If you do a little, you do a little. If you don't do a little, you don't. And one thing that I do stand behind is just a very old school root in my culture, which is respect the pad. Whatever pad you're in, whether it's at work pad, whether it's in a social environment, wherever. It doesn't even matter where you're at. Just wherever you're at, that's not your pad, it's someone else's pad, whether it's public or private, respect the pad. If they don't like you to curse there, do that. Yeah, you got the whole I could be myself, I could be my friend. I understand that. But there's also a place and time to take off your shoes and take off your shirt. And there's also a place and time where you should keep your shirt on and you should keep your shoes on. Same with the cursing. If that's just an environment where folks don't like you to curse, then don't. Respect the pad. Here's another cool way to answer the question, should I curse? Should you curse? It's pretty simple. If you gotta ask, maybe it ain't really you. And you know what the question comes out to? Is cursing bad? Is cursing good? Is cursing okay? In my opinion, it's all perspective. Because I've seen someone insult someone else without using not one curse word. I've also seen one person make a big crowd of people bust up laughing, having a great time, a joyful laughing time, with a bunch of curse words. Are curse words good? Are curse words bad? It's all perspective, the way you see things. And of course, there's also level of curse words. There's like the sentence enhancers that are like, whoa, those are just like fire. And then there's warm, and then there's cold sentence enhancers that they're not that crazy, they're not that dang, you know what I mean? They're just not that bad. So you gotta read your crowd. You gotta know, and what I mean read your crowd is like you're not on stage, you're not a comedian on stage busting curse words. I'm saying if you're just talking amongst friends and maybe they have their kids with them and you don't know, you're not sure how their relationship is or what rules they have as far as language, you got to read that crowd. And it goes back to kind of what I mentioned earlier, which is respect the pad. If you don't know how they are, maybe your curse levels should be like real low to none. you may just need to use your best judgment and respect the pad and assume that they don't curse. Because then you'll have that situation, which I'm pretty sure a lot of us have seen, where someone curses and then they look at the little kid and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry I cursed." Why don't you just don't? Or simply ask, "Hey, is it cool if I curse in front of your kid?" And if the parent says, "We do it all the time," then boom, bust out your sentence enhancers. No problem. And there's a time and place for everything. You got to read the crowd, read the room. Maybe you're at work and you got to watch your language there. Maybe you're at a bar, at a nightclub. You got to watch your different language there. Or you use different language at work or at a bar. Or your employees and you do curse with your coworkers, or you don't curse with your coworkers. Or maybe you go to school. That's another time and place where you have to know the rules, follow the rules, respect the pad, and know whether you should or you shouldn't and who you do and you don't. That's where you read your crowd and respect the pad. And the best thing to do, in my opinion, really, it's a skill that takes effort to master, but it's well worth the time and the effort. If you do decide to curse, and it's just part of who you are, it's part of your nature, it's part of your brand, who you want to be, what feels good to you. And like I said, you do decide to curse, master when to curse and when not to curse. It's like a curse on and off button. Curse on, curse off. Thanks for stopping by. See you in the next video.